What's good, everybody? It's your boy Hans.
And this is Tristan.
Welcome to the Hans and Tristan podcast. That was new. But
That
hey,
was very new.
we appreciate you joining us for yet another fun-filled episode of the Hans and Tristan podcast. Tristan, this is going to be another episode where we're in your wheelhouse, your area. Yes, your area of expertise. I can't think of any other synonyms or words to make it, but this is your area. But I'm excited about it because I think this is something that really happens commonly, and I really do. I think it happens a lot out here. I really think it happens a lot out here
because I do too, because I've seen so many chicks like reposting, and I'm like, and then,
right.
I don't like it, but I'm gonna let you introduce it first before I start going in.
Right. So, as I was scrolling through social media, I saw via the shade room that basically Portia, who is on Real Housewives of Atlanta, she basically announced that she was in a relationship with.
She's engaged.
Well, I saw the relationship announcement first. Then I saw the engagement announcement shortly after. But nonetheless, to this gentleman by the name of Simon, I think is his name.
I don't know. He who has no name. That's what it is.
I think it's Simon because he makes money, and I need to figure out how he makes his money. But anywho, he is the husband of her quote unquote friend and also fellow castmate
exactly
in the show. What's her name?
Fallon.
Fallon. And that just screams all types of messy. But what I did find interesting though was Portia in her Instagram or whatever social media post, she made it clear that she wasn't friends with the castmate.
See, here's my thing, right? Like, cut the shit at the end of the day, right? Honey, I'm on your Instagram, okay? So you posting pictures of us out and everything else. Like, I invited you to my house. And even for me, right? Even if it is only related to the actual show, you still met my husband, and he's still her current husband through me. Because you came in my house and I introduced you to my husband as my husband, right? So to me, that's messy as fuck. Because if you met this man through me and you are cool, you can't sit here and now try to downplay any dynamic we've had prior to just to justify your actions. Okay, let's start there. Be a big girl. Just say you a bitch. You don't give a fuck, and you're gonna go after what you want. I can respect that a lot more than a motherfucker trying to downplay some shit, right? Then on top of that, bitch, I ain't even divorced yet. Like, me and him still married. So how are you swooping in and getting engaged?
According to Dude, he says their divorce was finalized in January. That's what he's saying.
And according to her, it ain't.
What I'm having issue reconciling is we know the natural progression of relationships and how things should generally go, right? Mm-hmm. You can't tell me, because we're in the month of May right now, right? We're in the month of May, that right after March is when you started, right after January is right when you started talking, develop, and like things don't move that fast. Like things don't. You've had to have been in some type of contact or some form of a relationship while she was still his wife.
And that's my thing, right? Like, so you're being messy, dude. Like, and on top of that, Portia is condoning your messiness because she just wants a husband and she wants a rich husband. That's it. This woman has been married, divorced, engaged, baby daddy, like she's been up and down, left and right, sideways, right? And I think me and her the same age, like, girl, fuck, slow down.
Wait, but she's had more than one husband before, or?
I think she had one husband. That's how she originally got on the show. And then they got a divorce. And then she, I think, was engaged to her baby daddy, but they didn't get married. And now this motherfucker.
Oh, okay.
So regardless of the fact, I just feel like it's too many dudes out here for you to have to do this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, listen, as a single woman in Atlanta, I understand, okay? Pickings are slim, especially when you're looking for somebody in a certain tax bracket. I totally get it. Like, where are they hiding? I don't know. But at the end of the day, you got to have some couth and class, because as my mama say, the same way you get a nigga, the same way you lose them.
Right. And that was actually going to be my next question to you. Do you think the fact that he was in a tax bracket and familiar with the type of lifestyle that she wants or currently lives,
she's easy bait.
Right. It made it easy for her to kind of like still go there. It's like an easy, low hanging fruit. So, okay, dude should already know the type of lifestyle I want and demand. He's in this world. He's in this, kind of pseudo entertainment, because he's not entertainment really, but he deals with, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like pseudo entertainment world. So this is easy. This is an easy plug and play kind of situation. You think, is that what she was really thinking? Like, yo, this is plug and play rather than for, altruistic reasons like, love, compassion.
Oh, I know this ain't got to do with love. But I think cool. For him, it was an easy transition because it's just like a man with money. That's just easy, especially when like it's so many women that are going to get with you because you have money. It ain't because he's drop dead gorgeous, like you said. It ain't for love. It ain't because he got a six pack. It's because he has money.
Oh, he is far from six.
It's because he definitely has a keg, but it's because he has money. So for me, it's just like, Portia, you really look like a fucking bird, because everyone knows your strategy and your trends. Like, so you really think this motherfucker ain't gonna leave you? Are you that on hard times that you really gotta like drop all morals and values? And I hate women like that. Like, that shit irks my fucking nerves, right? It's so many fucking females I know who do foul shit like this. It's like, you're so hell bent on getting a nigga that you don't give a fuck about who you cross and who you step on and who you stab in the back in the process. And to me, it's just like, that's foul and fucked up. And it says a lot about your morals, characters, and values. And on top of that, you're raising a child. Like, so what you gonna tell your baby?
So let me ask you this. Was there any way, right? Was there any way she could have gone about this in the right way? I guess what I'm saying is, let's say, even though you don't believe this and neither do I, let's say there was actual genuine interest there, right? And let's say they were actually going through the process of a divorce or anything. Was there a right way, in fact, if there was genuine interest and love between them, for her to go about being with this man? Or is this man completely off limits because he was your friend's husband?
He's off limits, period. And even if it's not your friend's husband, and for me, even if it's an associate's husband, and I met you through the associate, like, you're still off limits, right? Like, I don't think there's a shortage of men where you have to start, again, stepping on the people that are in your circle to get to these niggas. So, like, even with me, like, I have high disdain for Alicia Keys just because of that whole situation that transpired, right? And to me, I just feel like women are so easily swayed into certain situations because they're believing whatever the man tells them, and they're so hell-bent on what they want that they will accept those lies. They will accept the smoking mirrors. They will accept all that shit. And it's just like, so you're willing to destroy your character just to say, I got a husband.
But what if she waited until it was over? Was it okay then or no?
No, absolutely not. Like, you don't, like, girl code, you don't fuck with your friends' niggas, period. And I've seen so many females like, oh yeah, I'm missing out, because at the end of the day, if that's your soulmate, what soulmate? Why would that be my soulmate? If I'm sitting here listening to my homegirl tell me about this nigga and all the things he's doing, and the whole time I'm just like, girl, fuck him, and then next month I'm with the nigga. Come on now, like, that's fucked up. And then what makes me like cringe is the fact that, like, so was the whole time y'all was like checking for each other?
That's what I'm saying. The timing is what gets me, because if we're honest, marriages are different than other regular relationships, right? That they're more involved, they're more, intrusive in each other's personal lives. Like, you're literally merging two households together with the idea of it being permanent that way, right? So you make terminal decisions. So at the end of the day, it's not as trivial as a fling, or you know what I'm saying, like some dude you just had a one-nighter with or whatever that you don't really care about. This is somebody you probably even had kids with. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So at the end of the day, I think precautions should have been taken for the respect of that. But like you said, the mindset of people in that atmosphere sometimes, or in that world, is like, I got to get over and I got to stay relevant and be on top. And if somebody is willing to provide the resources financially for me to continue to live this lifestyle, to continue to be relevant, then that means more important to me than this pseudo friendship or whatever you want to call it. But for those who are not in that celebrity whatever world, right, I do wonder though, like, how would they go about handling that situation? Because if I'm real and honest, I think this happens, this happens on the regular surface level, right? People be poaching people's husbands and wives
Let
all
me
the
tell
time.
you.
But I've seen cases where a marriage has failed, right? But it's been years. Does that make sense? So like they've been divorced and they've gone to separate ways. They're in different relationships. And, the friend group ends up getting together with the other person's ex-mate and it works out. So I guess what I'm saying is it timing that's making this wrong?
Mm-mm.
Or is it just wrong from the jump because it's a
Mm-mm.
perceived friend?
Let me tell you something. I've had my friends, associates, whomever, like their ex-boyfriends, ex-husbands, like hit me up after they break up. And I'm like, no. Fuck no. Like, no, my nigga, no. Why would you even think that would be okay? Like, no. Like, I don't care how long it is. The fact is, like, one, I met you through my homegirl or my friend or my coworker or whomever. That's how I met you, right? And I still have a relationship with this individual. So why would I jeopardize that relationship and my character for you? Because you're showing me the fact that you're even approaching me. You're showing me you're messy. You're a messy ass nigga. And if you could do that to your ex, why would I not presume you would do that to me?
Mm-hmm.
Like, ain't no way in hell, because who finna be watching a nigga to see if he motherfucking checking out your homegirls and shit? Not Tristan.
Okay, so
No.
for you, in the back of your mind, it's still going to be like, you are willing to cross that boundary. So what makes me think you won't cross it with me as well. So I get it.
And on top of that, like, the only time I've actually seen this work, I'm gonna be honest with you, is in the geriatric community. Okay, because
But that's what I'm saying. I've seen it work in the older community.
Right,
like,
but
I've seen it work.
They like 70, 80. Okay.
I'm not gonna say that,
slim.
but
Chickens are slim. That's the only thing I can think of is where it actually works in a geriatric community, because I've seen it, especially when you're like in senior living communities and stuff like that. Y'all are close knit. So when one person dies, then the old ladies gotta swoop in. So it's different in that dynamic. I still don't think it's okay. Me personally,
even in death. The vows say till death do us part. We partied. Like,
so here's my thing, right? You marry me, and then I die, and then I go to heaven, right? And then you marry somebody else, and she die, and then you die. Who your wife in heaven?
You gotta read your Bible.
Then school me. Who is it?
So the school of thought is there's not going to be that relationship as we see it right there in heaven. There's not going to be husband and wives like that in heaven.
So you telling me I go back to being single because I'm dead? No.
You ain't gonna be doing the worldly things you're doing out there in heaven.
It don't matter. Maybe I want to go, walk down a cloud or something. Maybe I want to go chilling. Like, I don't know. I can't do that with my earthly husband because now we ain't got the same dynamic.
It's not that you can't do it. You can do it, but you won't have the relationship ties like you have it down here in heaven, which is that's what the schooling is. That's what the prevailing topic is. Yeah.
No, I ain't going for it. Okay.
You ain't going for it?
If you my husband and you come to heaven and then you got some other trollop behind you because you done married, like, what is we doing? We not doing it.
You died. So if you get married, right, and you you pass away naturally of natural causes at the ripe old age of 99, you want your husband to stay single for the rest of his life?
Or die with me? What you doing? Because if you don't die shortly after me, you ain't love me for real.
Okay, so let's flip it. Your husband dies. You staying single?
I can stay unmarried.
See, that's not the same, Tristan. That's not the same. See,
I'm just saying,
see?
at the end of the day, what is we
You won't
doing?
get married, but you'll be, yeah.
What we doing? Because I don't understand it. So you got two. So now we sister wives up in heaven. I don't think God likes that.
It's different up in heaven. We're all gonna be brothers and sisters. It's gonna be great. You won't be worried about that in heaven.
You don't know.
You're gonna be worried about who taking down your man and that. We ain't got time for that foolishness. We done been through that in earth. That's earthly thinking, Tristan.
See, that's why I said don't bury me. You better cremate me because I need to see what's going on up in my house. Put me on a mantle. Don't put me out no cold graveyard by myself when you only gonna come visit me once a year. No.
You want to be present in the house.
I want to be in the house. I need to see everything. I need to see what's going on. Who this person? Why they here? Where my grandbabies at? Okay, open up gifts. Like, no.
But here's a point I want to bring out too. This to me brings up a fundamental concept in relationships, especially marriages, that we often throw away to the wayside, and actually we promote the opposite. When you're in a relationship like a marriage, I'm speaking about a marriage, you no longer just have your friends. Does that make sense? Like, your friends are no longer just your friends. Your friends.
I know, because your wife is my BFF now. Like,
right. So, like, your friends, that's your wife's friends as well, or your husband's friends as well. And God forbid, if they don't get along, hey man, I'm sorry, but that friendship is either going to be a distant friendship or it's no longer going to be a friendship, because the priority is your relationship, right?
I totally agree.
So I think that fundamental part of a marriage is often cast aside, because think about it. Every TV show or movie you see, yeah, she got her friends, she's chilling, or she got da-da-da. Like, that's not how it is in real life. If I have a friend that Ty looks at sideways or doesn't approve of, you know what I'm up to? Damn, well, this ain't gonna work out. That's just what it is, because what this friendship is not gonna do is cause friction in my marriage. Same thing with her. So if there's a homegirl who don't like me for some reason or whatever, well, guess we ain't friends no more.
That's real though, because all the married couples I know, I became friends with the other counterpart as well, right? And I totally agree with that dynamic, that you have to adopt, because you're meshing like you said, you're meshing two worlds. So yeah, we're now friends. So going back to the whole Portia thing, so she might have adopted that same thing, thinking that, oh, my girls ain't gonna do this, my man ain't gonna do this, and now look at you about to be a sister wife.
Right. But before then too, you also have to, set boundaries with your husband. Like, don't be trying to snipe my my friends. Like, unless you guys are into that. Unless you're into that. Listen,
the thing is, like,
if you're into that, then that's fine.
You shouldn't even have to tell your man that.
Right. I get it. You shouldn't. But like, if
I tell you don't push up on my friends, nigga, I'm gonna dot your goddamn eye. Don't embarrass me like that. Don't you ever that's my biggest thing.
That's the worst thing.
Don't fucking embarrass me. Don't embarrass me, because I'm real like that. Like, even with me having a teenage daughter, right? I'm real particular about who I allow in my house, because I ain't gonna have nobody in here who will be checking on my motherfucking daughter, because nigga, I have a whole backyard. I will bury your ass with no motherfucking problem.
Son, that is such a real statement though, because at the end of the day, like, I hate to say it, but dudes are predators sometimes. And you really have to be mindful of that. You as a grown woman have to be mindful of these grown men looking at your daughter some type of way. So,
and that's the thing, is like, niggas don't have, like, when you, and we've had this conversation, like, when you are a narcissist, you don't have relationships, you have victims. And that's just what it boils down to. Like, these people are your victims, and you use them, and then you spit them out, and you move on to the next victim. And I just wish more people would. And the thing is, like, when you're doing art, they're very charming, and they're, like, they pull you into that stupid shit. But as individuals, men and women, because we're not gonna act like they're not women narcissists out here. Like you
Right.
have to be mindful of, like you said, those boundaries and understanding your boundaries and your triggers and being willing to walk away. That's the hardest part for a lot of people, is being willing to walk away when someone violates your boundaries. Like, nah, fuck that. But sometimes we think like, yo, I put too much time and energy into the situation. Like, I'm not gonna just give up that easily. You know me. I'm like, oh, fuck this shit. Like, fuck this, fuck that, fuck you. I'm out. Like, no. But again, like you said, being aware of your relationship and your dynamic, and then who you invite into your marriage. Because, like I said, having those friends, you're still inviting them into your home and your relationship and your marriage, and not, deeply in, but they still have access. And
Right.
that accessibility can be a good thing or a bad thing.
No, that's facts. And I love what you said that about people feeling like they put so much time into this friendship or relationship or whatever and not willing to make amends, sacrifice, or even break it for your marriage. Like, to me, that's a misappropriation of priorities, right? Because then what you're saying is then this friendship, right, that you've put so much time into is of the same level of this marriage, right? And I hate to say it,
But
but
it's not.
it's not. It
It's
really
not.
isn't. So, and if one is potentially jeopardizing the other, you're going to have to really figure this out.
Right.
And I I I understand people who have been in relationships for decades, but this might be one of the realest statements you ever heard, but relationships expire as well. Even the ones you've been in for decades. It's like they expire, they have an expiration date. Or they change. That's just
That's the
the nature
nature.
of
And
things.
I think having a child and getting married are two major life events that do change the dynamic of your friendship.
Friendships, definitely,
and
yes.
and it boils down, like, it says a lot, and a lot of friendships don't last, especially when you have, like, I know for me, I had my daughter when I was 21, right? So I was still in undergrad, so like even on my line sisters, they going to Miami, they going to Bahamas, they going here, they going there, and I'm in the house breastfeeding and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like looking at all their pictures, I'm like, God damn it, But
Hmm.
understanding that some relationships don't survive that, because now I'm a mom, so my turn up is a little different, because I can't drink because now I'm breastfeeding. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Back then they ain't have all these machines where you could check the alcohol and get, your milk and shit. They ain't had it. You pump and you dump it. Period.
That's it. Pump and dump.
That's it. So understanding my priorities was, my child and plays and, school events and gymnastics and blah, 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 blah. And to someone who is a single woman, that might not be appealing. But my
Facts.
friends who supported me, they're still my friends now, 16, 17 years later. You know what I'm saying? Because they supported me, understanding that shift of me as a person also shifted our relationship, and they were willing to shift with me.
That's it right there. They're willing to shift with you. And also by doing that, they're also investing in that relationship as well, too. They're supporting you as a mother, and they are helping you to strengthen that bond with your daughter, and helping out whenever they can, or, and planning things accordingly so it doesn't make life harder for you. Because that is initially, in my eyes, an investment. Like, you're also investing in this relationship just like I am as well. And I'm not gonna lie, like it's definitely happened for me. Like, my relationships have shifted as I became a married man. Like, that's just the nature of things. Certain things, like, yeah, I gotta go home to my wife. It's not that like I have to. It's like I'm considerate of this woman, like spending
Right.
my life with her. So
I
yeah,
kind of
make sure.
actually like being around my wife. Like, what the
Right,
fuck?
yeah, she's dope. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, I go home. Like, I'll give you a perfect example. Man, Tristan, there's so many ways we could go with the story. Perfect example, man. I stepped on the court for the first time in over a year.
Oh, child.
Listen, so wife had a workout class that she wanted to go to, right? We were spending in time. And, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of wanted to just cuddle in bed, right? But I understand, she's on this fitness, she wants to get healthier, and I want to support her in that. So she's like, yeah, I gotta go to this class. I ain't make no fuss. Yes, I wanted my wife to stay in bed and cuddle. I did, but I support her. I was like, cool. She kind of knew that. She's like, cool. She's like, hey, just come with me. I was like, I ain't trying to work out. I was like, all right, I'll come. Let's go. Let's go. We'll go. It's
Yes,
important. You know what I'm saying?
compromise.
I'm going, right? So I didn't go to the class, but went to the gym. It's together. I'm in the same vicinity or whatever. So I'm working out, and I was like, yo, let me step on this court, man. It's not crowded or whatever. I get on this court. You know my love for ball. So I'm having fun. Granted, I'm rusty as hell. My body's saying, hey, son, what are you doing right now? Like, what you want to do, your body ain't doing, son,
What
but I'm
we
having
doing?
fun. Right. I'm talking. By that time, time flies, right? Her workout is done. She comes in. I'm like, oh, hey, what's up, babe? She was like, yo, she's like, I'm done. I said, okay, cool. Bet. I was like, yo, just give me like 5 more minutes. I'm done. She's like, okay, cool. She's like, I'm gonna go to the sauna. Boom. So I'm balling whatever. She texts me. She's like, I'm out, whatever. She comes. The old Hans would have finished. Would have been like, yo, I'm on this roll. I'm doing it. But that's my wife right there. And what I love about her is like, she understood what it was and she was still supportive, but also was like, yo, I will always have an opportunity to do that. You feel me? Like, I'll always have an opportunity to ball. Like, this means more like, all right, baby, ready to go? Let's go. Hey, fellas, it's good. I'll holler at y'all. We're out. So to me, I say this long-winded example of the adjustments and shifts that you have to make daily, not only in your relationship as a couple, as a husband, wife, whatever it is, but your personal life has to shift as well. And that means everything in your personal life has to shift. Even my relationship with my parents, that has to shift. Like, I'm my mom's only...
The ranking is different now.
Yeah, right. I'm my mom's only biological son. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm the boy. That's it. You feel me? So I check in with my mom. So even doing that, though, that has to be different. You get what I'm saying? Like, and she understands that too. She's like, you got a wife, go home to your wife. Like, oh, here's something for you and your wife. Like, everybody respects the role that your wife has in your life.
But you know why they respect it? Because you require them to.
And that's what I was gonna say, because we put up these boundaries and reinforce these boundaries to say, yo, you're not just gonna acknowledge me, you're gonna acknowledge me and my wife. What's his name? Is it Omari Hardwick Power?
I don't know. I don't even know who that is.
The dude that plays Power Ghost.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He had an interesting tidbit. He was having dinner with his wife and he got upset at somebody because they approached him and didn't acknowledge his wife. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's that mentality. Like, everything we do, I need you to acknowledge, like, this relationship is going on here. And I don't think like they had that. The example we're using, like, I don't think dude had that, but clearly he didn't have it because he went after Portia. But I also don't think that she surrounded herself with people who were true to that and who understood that.
And that's the thing, understanding that, like you said, part of that boundary is, you're letting people in your house who don't have your best interest. And you let them in your home, right? Like, I don't give a fuck how much you want to show off your house. It's certain niggas who will never cross this fucking threshold. It's certain motherfuckers that are my blood relatives who can never even know where I live, right? But understanding that requirement, like, and I'll give you an example even from my perspective, like with Genesis, like, same example. Like, everyone who did that shift with me now has their own individual relationship with my child. Hell, even you, like, when she pissed off at me, she'll call you, text you in a minute. So understanding that it's a package deal, but when you present it as such, then people respect it. And that's how they get that inclusive relationship. And it's the same thing with my daughter and her relationship. She won't have a boyfriend who ain't cool with me. And I'm not saying cool like, oh, we gotta be BFF, but you're not going, it's just certain things she won't allow, right? And I think that's it right there. And I think that's what more people have to be mindful of, not hoping that these boundaries are in place and hoping that respect is in place, but requiring and demanding that it's in place. Because certain shit like this don't happen if you set a certain standard. Fuck with me if you want to. I tear this whole bitch up. Like,
no, that's a fact. Like, you got to set that in your relationship early on. That's not something that also happens like after you get married. No, you do that along the way. Like, you really have to set those standards. And that's not to say, so when I say like my wife friends are my friends, that doesn't mean like I'm chill and buddy with them. No, that's not what it is. What it is exactly what Tristan said. They go on a girls' night or whatever, but they understand like, yo, she ain't gonna do nothing too reckless to, disrespect the relationship we got going on here. And it also means like she's gonna check in with me. And check in with me, not like as permission, but like, yo, hey, the girls want to go out there. And did you want to do something? Like, what we have going on is priority. Meaning, let me check to see if maybe he wanted to do something, because I got to cater to that first. Oh, we ain't got nothing planned? Bet. You know what I'm saying?
Because I got being real, right? Like, those friends, when they have a relationship with that counterpart, they also keep that spouse in line. And I'm not saying in line like, oh, you got to check them or whatever, but it's many times like with your wife, like when I've had my relationship shit or whatever, I'm like, fuck this, fuck that. She's like, now Tristan. You know what I'm saying? So just being able to have that person who actually genuinely cares about your relationship. So when you and your partner are at odds, their best interest is to get y'all back in a good space. And that goes a long way. And I tell people that all the time. It's like when if I ever get to the point of having a wedding, which I would love to have, like I ain't gonna have a million niggas. I'm gonna have niggas I know that's really down to keep this relationship and this marriage intact by any means. And that's just what it boils down to, because like you said, that support goes a long way.
Facts.
But yeah, you can't just have willy-nilly motherfuckers all up in your shit and all up around your man and shit and and your man like And if I gotta keep my friends away from my man, you can't be my man.
No, that's facts.
Like that's just too much. It's like you got Roman eyes and shit. Like ain't nobody trying to deal with that. And on top of that, if you don't require people to respect your counterpart, and if you are dismissive of your counterpart and you are neglectful, then people are going to treat that counterpart the same exact way.
Facts.
And I'll be damned. It won't be Tristan.
Well, guys, appreciate you for joining us. Let us know what you think. Was Portia in the right? Was she in the wrong?
Bitch wrong as fuck.
Did she violate girl code?
Yes.
Do you believe in that? Who knows? Let us know what you think. As always, guys, you can definitely listen to the Hans and Tristan podcast wherever podcasts are available. Download, stream. Let us know what you think. Hit us up on our social media. We're on IG as the Hans and Tristan podcast. Also, YouTube. We post our videos on YouTube here and there. We have a bunch of them on there as well. So hit us up. Look at our pretty faces. Tristan got the natural hair, rocking it, looking good with the natural hair, the curls.
It won't be like this long.
Oh, here she go. Check us out on YouTube. The YouTube channel is Hans and Tristan Podcast. We appreciate, guys, all the support. We love you. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.